Have you noticed something unusual in Australian culture? While everyone around you is losing their mind over the weekend footy, you're just not. Your mates are checking scores, debating strategies, planning their entire week around match days. And you? You feel like you're living in a different country. So what's happening here? Why do some Australians choose to step outside the nation's most sacred ritual? Why some Australians reject the sports obsession. The first reason is identity autonomy. In Australia, sports aren't just entertainment, they're a social currency. Your team becomes your tribe. But here's what psychology reveals. When belonging requires conformity, the human brain pushes back. It's called identity reactance. When external pressure to conform becomes too intense, your mind rebels. Not because you hate sports, but because you hate the idea that your interests should be dictated by consensus. The tighter the cultural grip, the harder some people pull away. The second reason is cognitive load. Your brain has limited mental resources. Every statistic you memorize, every player's name you learn, that's energy spent. For people already consumed by careers, learning, or creative pursuits, sports trivia competes directly with other priorities. When your attention is already saturated, the brain makes a simple calculation. Invest in what feels genuinely meaningful, or stretch yourself thin trying to keep up with cultural expectations. Most Australians who step away aren't rejecting sports out of principle. They're making a resource allocation decision. The third reason is misaligned reward systems. Not everyone's brain is wired the same way. For some people, dopamine floods when watching competition and bonding over shared passion. But for others, dopamine comes from intellectual debate, creative expression, or solitude. When your brain's reward system doesn't align with the cultural script, something breaks. You're watching people get genuinely excited, while you're just observing from the outside. After years of performing engagement while feeling nothing, it becomes exhausting. So you stop. The uncomfortable truth. Here's what most Australians won't acknowledge. Sports obsession isn't purely about passion. It's also about belonging without having to risk being truly seen. You can debate tactics, predict outcomes, have strong opinions, all from a safe distance. But if you're genuinely obsessed with sports, you rarely have to ask harder questions. Who am I really? What do I actually want? The ritual provides structure and identity without requiring vulnerability. People who refuse to obsess are people who can't settle for that comfort. They need meaning that feels personally constructed, not inherited. The reality check. But here's the truth. It's not that these people are rejecting Australian culture. They're expressing a deeply Australian value: independence and doing things differently. Australia has always been about standing out, breaking rules, forging your own path. These individuals are actually living that spirit. And the culture is changing. Being passionate about sports is valid. So is stepping outside it. The binary is disappearing. What you need to ask yourself. So if you're someone who refuses to obsess over sports, ask yourself something honest. Am I stepping away because it's genuinely not for me? Or am I stepping away to prove something? There's a difference between authentic disinterest and performative rebellion. Real autonomy isn't about rejecting what others love. It's about genuine clarity on what actually moves you. Thank you for watching. If this made you think about culture, psychology, and what it means to stand out, subscribe. There's more content coming about individuality, cultural pressure, and building an identity that's actually yours.